Hey guys, it's me. It is, what is today? Today is Thursday, December 7th. I'm going to be doing the gingerbread ruffle wreath today with the 30-inch ruffles. I was supposed to have a live class on this last night, but everybody seemed to be pretty busy, so I didn't really have that many people signed up to attend live, but that's fine. A lot of you do prefer just to get the video, so it's just as easy for me to record this, pre-record this, do it during the day. I would much rather have you folks live with me so I could hear your voices and you could ask me questions, but this is fine once in a while as well. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in upstate New York, and I'm actually wide awake as opposed to sometimes I get a little bit tired having class at night at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So I'm pretty awake right now. And we're going to get this started. As you can see, I'm getting my wreath form ready. This is a work wreath form if you're not familiar with it. I'm making a mess here. If you're not familiar with a work wreath form, all that means is that you buy it with the ties already attached. You can get them really frilly like this. You can also order the pencil wreath forms, which just means that your ties are thinner and they're not so fluffy. But I kind of like these because they add to the wreath sometimes at the end. You don't really have to worry about cutting them off or tucking them away. So I used my red one the other day for the no-cut ruffle wreath, and I didn't even bother cutting any of the pieces off because it blended right in with the wreath. But this is going to be our gingerbread wreath. You'll notice that the work wreath forms are raised a little bit more. Like if you get your wreath form from the Dollar Tree or from any other craft store, normally they're flatter, but that's okay. And the ones from the Dollar Tree have 4 rings as well. But you can use those. I just started using these work wreath forms because they make a lot fuller wreath. It's just a lot puffier, but I still use the Dollar Tree forms. I just happen to have this when I placed a large order from Craft Outlet last month, and I ordered a couple just to try them out. I know Damon from Deco Exchange uses them all the time. And I think Lori from Hardworking Mom uses the pre-made ones, but you can make your own. Just make sure that you have 18 ties. So what you're going to want is you're going to want to have 10 on the outside of your wreath form and 8 on the inside. It doesn't matter where you place them on the form. Well, I guess it does. You just want to make sure that they're 4 inches apart. So you take your tape measure, you can even see 4.5 inches apart is good between your ties, and then you'll have, you'll have ample coverage of your wreath. So what we're doing today, and the reason why this method is nice, if you're going to be making a ruffle wreath, I know I showed you the other day how to do a ruffle wreath with no cutting, and that one was great, but the reason why, and again, Damon uses this a lot too, when you cut your mesh into longer pieces, okay, this is 30 inches, all right? The reason why this is preferable when you're doing a cut ruffle wreath is because obviously there's less cuts. Typically a ruffle wreath, when you're cutting it and scrunching it, or even a spiral wreath, they're usually 10 by 10 inch squares, okay? And you have a lot of cuts, and more cuts means more fraying, or the potential for more fraying. So this is Craft Outlet mesh. Actually, you know what, I apologize, I got this from Joann's, but I did cut it with the wood burning tool, and if you haven't used the wood burning tool yet, it really is wonderful. You just have to make sure that when you're cutting, not sure if you can see that in the on here, but when you're looking at your mesh, you can see that there's grid lines. There's lines that go down through your mesh. You just want to make sure that when you are cutting it to go through in between those lines. And it can be a little bit cumbersome when you're using a rotary cutter or scissors. It's not as easy to do, but I use my wood burning tool, so let's get started. We have our 30-inch piece of mesh here, and all we're going to do is just start scrunching it, okay? So you're going to find your middle point here, and it may take, seem like you're scrunching forever because you have a really long piece of mesh here. And it's nice that this one has lines up the middle. because I'm kind of like following the lines here. And here you have one nice, big, fluffy, there's a piece that came off, ruffle. And the reason why, again, this is nice too, you're only going to need one of these per tie, okay? Typically, when you're doing a ruffle wreath with cut mesh, with the 10 by 10 inch pieces, you're going to need 2 or 3 per tie. This is so full at 30 inches, you're just going to need one of these per tie. So let's just go in, and you're going to place it face down. So here, I ruffled it this way. This is the bottom. We're going to place that face down and just find your first tie. It may want to start popping out on you. Just squish it back in there. That's a lot of mesh to ruffle there. As long as you get all of it in the middle of your tie, we're gonna be adding ribbon and stuff, so just give it a couple of twists. 1, 2, and that's it. And look how pretty that mesh is. I thought that would be so pretty for a gingerbread wreath. Either that, or what's pretty for a gingerbread wreath too is if you just go and you get the jute mesh, which is the just the natural colored mesh with the jute running through it. That's always a good base for a gingerbread wreath, because what color are gingerbread? They're brown. So you can do a base of, I think I even have some here because I'm going to use this for the wreath on Saturday. This is a jute mesh that I got from Craft Outlet, and it's just brown. It's just a natural colored mesh. It's very bright in here, with the jute running through it. Why is that so bright? And again, brown is a great base for gingerbread wreaths. You can add red to it, so that's that. But I decided I wanted to use this pretty red and white striped. So let's go to our second piece. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of fold the end under a little bit just to get that cut piece folded under, because I don't want that showing at all. I don't want my cut piece. I don't want that cut piece showing at all. I want to hide that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just fold the end under a little bit. I just love how mesh likes to fray, or likes to curl. Don't worry about it. You're just scrunching. You can even scrunch it and keep it in place like that if you want. And then there's my end, and I'm just going to kind of fold that under, just so that doesn't show. Fold that cut piece right under there. Look how pretty that is. Don't worry if it starts popping out in your hand, because you're going to have your tie to hold it in place. Just jam it in there. 1, 2. Now we have our 2 ruffles. And we just keep going. That's it. Folding this end under. Wants to cooperate with me. I can remember the very first time I made, actually it wasn't the first time, I think it was the second time. I made a wreath with the cut mesh. And it was before I had the wood burning tool. I do not remember where I got this mesh, but it was just fraying like the dickens. And I can remember making my wreath and being so upset that it was fraying so much. I just ripped the whole thing apart. And my son comes in my room and he sees the big pile of tangled mesh and he says, "Mom, why did you kill your wreath?" I did, I killed it. I think I repurposed that mesh though. I'm not quite sure what I did with it, but I did end up reusing it. So you can actually turn your ruffles sideways. Whoops. You can turn your ruffles so they're going this way, which I think I prefer. So they're going like that. If you actually find that there's a space and you need to add another ruffle, you can add another pipe cleaner and add another ruffle. But I don't think we're going to need to do that because these are 30-inch pieces. I'm actually going to keep them going this way. So my ruffles, that's my piece. It's going this way instead of out like that. So that's the way I want to keep it because I don't want any gaps in my wreath. You can actually take 10-inch mesh and make 10 by 10-inch spirals and add them to your ties as well, so you have additional coverage. But like I said, with this wreath, because of these cuts, because of how full they are at 30 inches, you're not going to need to do that. Make sure your cut ends are going under. Just kind of twist them around with your hand. One, two. And you can fluff it out. How pretty that is. I love the traditional colors, the reds and the greens at Christmas time. I have to pause my recording for 1 second to take a phone call. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. Just needed to make a quick phone call here, or take a quick phone call. Let's continue ruffling or scrunching. I may even stop the recording anyway after I get done with the first ring, just so you don't have to sit here and watch me do all the scrunching. You can pretty much get a good idea of how this works. I need a bigger table, you guys. Because I have my camera in one corner up here, you can't see it, and then I have my laptop here. I need a bigger table, especially when I'm rolling 30-inch pieces of mesh. Like I said, don't be too worried if you're not exactly in the middle. It's not that intricate of a science here, as long as you have a nice full ruffle. I love the ruffle method. And I love the ruffle method when I can find a method that requires either less cutting or no cutting and less fraying. That makes me even happier. As I'm sure it does you as well. Just kind of folding it over underneath a little bit, if you can see that. Just rolling it under a little bit so that cut end stays tucked in. Even though once you attach it to your wreath, you know, you're not going to have to worry about it, because it is true. The more you handle mesh, the more you handle mesh, the more it's going to fray. If you roll it, add it to your wreath, and then don't touch it again, you're going to be okay. If you have a stray fray here or there, just clip it off when you're done. If I have a couple of extra ruffles here, which I might, as I was cutting my mesh, I noticed that I had more than 18 ruffles. So if I do have some left over, I may still put them in somewhere. Just add another pipe cleaner. I don't like to waste. It's like a piece of candy, isn't it? Pretty, pretty. And you can see as you get them in next to each other, they start pushing each other up, which is what you want. I finally was able to start some of my Christmas shopping yesterday and today because my children take forever letting me know what they want. Not that they really need anything, but my children are older and they're not as easy to buy for anymore. So basically it's just clothes or, you know, my daughters like some makeup and things like that, but they are told to go online and send me links to some things that they like from the various, you know, clothing stores, you know, Old Navy or wherever. And, you know, there's such good deals when you shop online now, free shipping typically with sometimes no minimum order. And I'll tell you right now, I would prefer to shop online at Christmas time. I like to go to the stores, but I get crazy when it's too crowded. It's very festive at the malls with all the decorations and everything, but I get a little crazy at the mall when it's too crowded. And my daughters can kind of tell when Mom gets that look on her face that it's time to go. She's got that I've had enough of the mall look on her face. I need to get home to my peaceful and quiet abode of my home. This one I think I'm going to fix this one. This is the first one that I put in, and I don't like how I didn't roll that end piece under because it's starting to fray. So let's go and do this one over again. Just get to the end and just tuck that piece under. Hide that cut end. Even though I did cut it with the wood burning tool, you know, it does help. It does not eliminate. So there. So that cut end is tucked underneath. So I might even add another ruffle over here. I feel like I have a little bit of extra space over here, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my inside ring now. But I'm going to pause the video so you don't have to sit here and watch me do all that. And I will be back when I'm done and we can add our ribbons. So we'll see you in a little while. Bye. Hey guys, I'm back. And you can see how big and beautiful and so fluffy this wreath is. That's what you get with 30-inch ruffles. And you can see these ties here. And once I add the ribbon, they're going to be not showing as much either, but they kind of blend in. I mean, they don't look bad because they're so puffy. But look at that wreath. Is that not a gorgeous wreath? Look at that. Those are your 30-inch ruffles. I actually had a couple of extra. I think I ended up having 3 extra ruffles. And all I did, I don't remember where I put them. I can't tell you. But if I found a space underneath, I kind of just added another pipe cleaner and I stuck it in there. I mean, you don't have to do that, but I had the extra pieces and I wanted to use them, so I just stuck them in on the bottom. But look how gorgeous that is. You could even just leave it like that and add a bow. and you're good to go. But look how beautiful and fluffy that is and gorgeous. I just love that. I love that. Now, we are going to add some ribbon. Now, typically, when I make a ruffle wreath, I cut my ribbons in 13-inch pieces. But because this is so full, I cut my ribbons in 14-inch pieces. So this is what I have. I actually have, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use that yet, but I have this pretty, what are they, snowflakes, this really pretty burlap ribbon with snowflakes. I have this pretty gingerbread ribbon. I have this gorgeous ribbon that I thought was really pretty. I don't know if I'm going to use this. I cut these stripes, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to use it because there's already stripes in the mesh, and that's just going to blend in just a little bit too much. I actually also have some leftover ribbon from another project that I was thinking about using. I wasn't sure. I don't know if I even have enough of it to use. I have this candy cane ribbon, but that might blend in too much as well. How many pieces of that do I have left? Let me see. I might not even have enough of that left, so I think I'm going to pass on that. I always like to use leftover ribbon when I have it, just so I could use it. But I think I'm going to stay with what I've cut so far. Let me see how many pieces of this I have. Because, you know, I like to cut a bunch of different ribbons, and then I just kind of lay it on there and see how it looks. You really can't tell until you lay it on your wreath how it's going to look and if you're going to like it or not. So I think that's all I have of that. I don't really have enough of anything else to put. I have this one as well. That might be kind of pretty. Let me put that aside. Maybe we'll try that one. Let me see how many of those I have cut from before. Oh, quite a few of those. Maybe we'll even use those. Let's see. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure I have enough ribbon choices here. You never have too many ribbon choices, huh? Okay. Now, how much ribbon you add is entirely up to you. You've got 18 ties here. I like to just put them around the outside or the bottom and then make room on the top for embellishments and a sign or whatnot. I do actually have this sign that I had for a while from Jane's Front Door Decor. If you're not familiar with Jane's Front Door Decor, she has awesome signs. I've been dying to use this gingerbread sign, and look how cute is that. I already have my pipe cleaners attached. I just did a little bit of hot glue with some pipe cleaners, so I could actually even go ahead and just add this now if I want to. And you just go ahead and you feed your, you can even go through the back or you can go through the front. I feel like I need to let it rest on the top because sometimes I kind of go back through the back with my sign, but this wreath is just too puffy, so I kind of think I want it to just rest on the top. So let me find a spot where I can go through and secure it. And I had forgotten that I already put my pipe cleaners on that a long time ago, so that's going to help me. Now I attach it loosely at first. Just give it a couple of twists in the back, just so till I'm sure that it's centered and where I want it. And then I tighten it once I have it where I want it to be. Oh, I got a little bit blurry there. My apologies. This is going to be a really cute one. I can't wait to take a picture and post it and show you guys, and then you'll know what you're getting in your video. And the nice thing about Jane's signs is they're really light. I'm not sure what the material is. It's almost like a tin. a very lightweight metal. It doesn't really take a lot to secure it to the wreath because it's so light. Let me look at that for a minute here and just hold it up and see if it's, I'm going to need to tighten that up a little bit more on the right here. Tighten it up on the left. When you have it where you want it, you can go ahead and tighten it. Just give it a couple of twists. I'm going to go down through this way instead. Just let that be, and I'll cut that extra off after. Pardon me while I just stand this up for a minute so I can kind of look at it and see where we're at. Sometimes your ruffles from your wreath can hold your sign in place too, believe it or not. This thing is just ginormous. I need to tighten it up just a little bit more up here. I apologize. Like I said, you never really know how something is going to look, ribbon or a sign, until you attach it. There, I think that's better. I just needed to, whoops. And I just pulled my glue right off. Oh, jeez. So I guess we're going to not be able to attach our sign permanently yet. I pulled that just a little bit too hard. Oopsie. Let's do our ribbon. We'll worry about our sign after. I need to re-glue this. My bad. That's what happens when you pull too hard. You get a little overzealous, if it were, with your pulling. I can actually just glue this right now. My glue gun plugged in. I'll just add another dab of glue. I'll just dab that up. I don't have it plugged in. How if I plug it in? We'll worry about that in a minute. My glue gun heat up. We're going to start adding some ribbon. I just knocked all over the floor because my wreath is so huge. Okay. I'm going to move my ribbon out of the way here so I have some space to work. Okay. Here we go. While our glue heats up, our glue gun, I'm going to start adding some ribbon. I actually also cut some extra pieces of this in 16-inch pieces because we're going to add like a little bow tie in the middle, and you've seen me do that before. I think I'm going to take this and put it with this. Fold it in half. Make sure you have your center. And like I said, I like to add my ribbon to the bottom. A couple of twists. And that's pretty. I'm going to take one of these and make a little bow tie. And put that right in the middle. And you can see when you add all of this that your pipe cleaner gets smaller and you only have like a little fluff on the end, and you don't even need to hide that. That can just stay right there. Isn't that cute? Now I think I'm going to do my gingerbread. I have my gingerbread ribbon here. What can I put with it? Let's see. Actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do, this ribbon's not long enough, this extra that I had. I think I'm just going to do my gingerbread with this. So I'll keep doing that ribbon all the way around, but I'm going to alternate with my gingerbread ribbon. So we're going to do these two in the next tie. I might have to cut some more of that snowflake ribbon. And this one I'm not going to put a bow tie on. This one I'll just leave like that. Maybe I'll put a little ornament in the middle. You can certainly do that as well. And then I'll go back to these again. This is why you want your ribbon a little bit longer, because these ruffles are just so big and puffy. Kind of like with the no-cut ruffle the other day. You could even make those ribbons in a 14-inch because it's just such a big and puffy wreath. You want your ribbons to show. I'm just going to glue my sign here real quick while my glue gun is hot. I want to be able to attach the sign. Put that on there so it stays. So when I yank on it, it's not going to go anywhere. So now we'll go back to the gingerbread ribbon. Oops, I forgot to put my bow tie. I'm going to put my little bow tie in the middle of that one. You just fold it over so it's overlapping. These are 16 inches, pinch it in the middle. And add it right into the center of your tie. You have a little bit left, you have just enough left just to twist that in. And then fluff it out. Pretty. You can use any one of your ribbons to make your bow tie. Or you don't have to use a bow tie at all. I just think it looks cute. Just a couple of more ties here. I actually need to cut just a couple more pieces of this snowflake ribbon. I knew I was going to run out because I had enough. I thought I cut 18. We're doing 14 inches. How many more do I need? 1, 2 is really all I need, I believe. Okay. Where am I here? What do I need next? This. I have to admit that I'm slowly developing a serious ribbon obsession. And I have to be honest as well that sometimes I've bought ribbon and haven't even had a wreath to put it in, and I sort of get my ideas from the wreath that I'm going to make from the ribbon that I buy. And that's really the key. When you're choosing ribbon to go in your wreath, you kind of want to go based on a lot of times the colors that are in your sign, the colors that are in your mesh. I know in the beginning I had a serious problem with trying to get things to match. And you can actually go online and find a color wheel, and it tells you what colors complement each other. And that was really helpful to me in the beginning because I was just lost when it came to trying to find the right color ribbon and etc. I think once you start doing it, this is going to come off. That's why it's important that when you're folding your bow tie that you make sure that you get the folds when you pinch, or you're going to have a bow tie that's coming out on you when you try to tighten it and fluff it. There. What you're going to find as you keep going, you're going to have some natural creativity that's going to come out, and you're going to be able to match colors better. Everything is just going to kind of fall into place. Trust me, it will. My last one, and you can see I'm really not going to add any ribbon up here because I'm going to put my sign in, and I don't really think I'm going to need to have ribbon up there. You can if you want to. I know a lot of people add ribbon to all the ties. That's totally a matter of preference. But this is why you need your pieces a little bit longer, because you can see, and you sort of are curling it as you're adding it. And you can see how I'm doing that with my hand. I'm like curling it. I'm putting my finger under here and I'm curling it so you can see it. You don't really want it to be straight. You want it to be curled because these loops, these ruffles are so big. And that is that, I think, for my ribbon. That's all I'm going to add for that, I think. I may decide to add more after. That'll come after. Let me pull off this fray here. because my sign's going to fill in the middle here. Look how pretty that is. Look how pretty that wreath is. And I'm not even going to do anything with these ties because they kind of add to it. You know, they add that little pop of brown that goes with my gingerbread and my brown and my ribbon, so it adds to it. So let me see if my sign is glued and dried, and it is. So I think I'm going to go this way with it. I'm looking at the direction. This has happened to me before. I look at the direction that my ribbon is going in, and I don't want my ribbon to be upside down. Like this one's kind of upside down up here, but I'm not gonna turn that around. Maybe I will. Because I want my gingerbread men to be facing down when I look at my wreath in my ribbon. So I'm going to fix that because this is going to be the top of my wreath up here. And I want to see my happy little gingerbread men looking down at me, not looking at me upside down. Okay. He's right side up. Everybody's right side up, except for him up here. He's upside down, so I have to fix him. Yep, that will bother me later on. She's thinking, oh gosh, she's crazy. Really? No, I just like things the way I like them. Better to fix it now. There. Make sure that's tight enough in the middle there. You don't want your ribbon to come out. And like I said, I may add some ornaments into the middle, or I may not, because this little bit of tie here sort of adds a little something to that. So I may just leave that the way it is, or I may add something in the middle. We'll see. Okay. I'm going to put my sign in. Hopefully when I pull it at this time, it won't come out. And that's the biggest challenge, is to try to feed it through. I don't want to squish my ribbon, but I gotta flip it over. Okay. So you can see I really don't even need to add any more ribbon to the top, because this is kind of overlapping down here, this ribbon that I put on the bottom. Oh, I'm a little bit blurry. I'm going to turn this around for you in just a second so you can see it. This side just needs to be a little bit tighter. Let's see if I can tighten it without pulling it out this time. Let me just look at it real quick and see if it's I think I like that where that is. But we're not done. Look how cute that is. This is where you can kind of curl your ribbon over. This is why the curling part is important. It's hard for me to see because I'm sort of looking at it in my laptop instead of looking down at it. Isn't that so cute? I need to stand it up for a second. Just one moment here. I think my sign is a little, just a tad lopsided. Oh, I think that's good. Now I have more to add though. I'm not done yet with our pretty gingerbread wreath. I am not done. I have a couple of little things I'm going to add in. Sometimes I kind of like to tuck my sign in a little bit. I pull some ruffles out and I tuck my sign in a little bit more. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I don't want to step away from this until I'm happy with how it looks. Sometimes pulling the ruffles out a little bit helps the sign to stay. Okay. So I think that looks pretty good. Look at that. How cute is that? Now, I have some little doodads here. I actually got this from a craft fair. It was actually 3 pieces. It was together with a little heart in the middle. Okay, and I cut the wires off. And I'm going to put these in here somehow. If I can fit them. I might not even be able to fit them. Because this wreath is so full. I need to kind of do this a little bit and see. These actually might be a little bit too big, but I don't know. Let me see. The nice thing about these is there's holes. These little arms. So I can feed the wire that I'm going to use to attach them to the wreath through the little holes. Or I can even just glue it. Which maybe I'll do that instead. I think I'm going to put him up there. I might not have room for all of them because this gingerbread man's kind of big. I think I like that there though. I think I'm just going to glue it. I'm not going to tie it in. I think he'll stay with the glue. I don't know if I'll be using all 3 because I don't think I have room for all 3. I'm going to glue them to the sign too a little bit, I think. So he doesn't slide down in front of the sign. I'm just kind of putting him up in the corner of the sign there. So he doesn't slide down my sign. And then I think I'm going to take my heart. I'm sorry, I'm sort of at an angle here. I'm going to put my heart in the other corner here. And that'll look really cute. I'm just going to attach it right to my sign. How cute is that? How cute is that? My little heart in one corner and my gingerbread man in the other. Now I have more goodies. I don't know if I can find a bag that had my goodies in it. I don't think I'm going to have room for my other gingerbread man. Where's my bag? I actually have these little cuties that I might stick in here somewhere. Whoops. He came right off of his little stick. So you know what? I don't even need the little stick, I don't think. Maybe I'll just glue them on. I apologize to keep doing this, but I'm just trying to see where I can put them. Let's see. You can kind of go anywhere. Oof. Don't press too hard on that glue, ladies. He's nice and light, so he's not going to need a lot of glue. So I have one up there. Yeah, let's see. Maybe I'll just stick one over here, sticking out of the corner there. Ouch. Oh, Lord. I really don't like working with hot glue. Sometimes you gotta. He's just gonna hang out over there. Oops. If I can get him to stay, I need to press him a little bit more and not touch him. Okay. That's cute. What else do I have here? I think candy canes might be a little bit too much, but they're awful. They're awful cute. Excuse me. These candy canes are awful cute. Pardon me while I just play with this for a minute, see if it's something that I want to add. Oh, my gingerbread man didn't stay. The glue did not hold him. Let's try that again. This is glue it's supposed to hold, for crying out loud. It's glue. Yeah, I don't know if I like those candy canes. I'm taking those out. My little man needs to stay because I want him to stay there. Maybe I can even put him down here. Let me see. Yeah, we'll add my other gingerbread man down here. I think he's cute. We don't want him. Get him out of there. So this is what I have so far. I might have overdid it with the gingerbread men, but I just love those gingerbread men. I like that. I actually have these too, but these might be a little bit too bright for this. I don't think I'm going to add those. It might be just a little bit too much. Let's take a look anyway and see if that's something I want to add. Because there's a lot of browns in this, and this is just red and white. That might be a little... I don't know, that's kind of cute. Just kind of have that peeking out there at the top. I kind of like that. I think I might keep that. I have another one. I think that'll be it for this guy. I'm going to put this one down here. Just kind of sticking out down here.